Our next edition in Ghana, I'm pleased to announce, we will be going to Kumasi. We will be going to Kumasi. Our next edition in Ghana, I'm pleased to announce, we will be going to Kumasi. We will be going to Kumasi.
Hello, everyone. It's an honor to welcome you. And yes, Tech in Ghana is coming to Kumasi. Do you know of Tech in Ghana? The biggest platform that is promoting tech opportunities and investment, government interactions, collaborations in Ghana. And this happens both in Ghana and London. But it has also been in Accra. It happens in Ghana, and it's a privilege that now it is coming to Kumasi and not being supported by anyone else but His Royal Majesty Otumfuo Osei II. So we are looking forward to it, and I'm glad that today we have an opportunity to discuss the topic, the royal build-up, what's happening in Kumasi's tech scene. We are not just discussing technology, trust me, but we're actually exploring the pulse of a city that actually blends heritage, creativity, innovation. And you'll say that Kumasi has always remained traditional and cultural. And this ecosystem, especially with respect to tech, is maturing very fast, with startups springing up everywhere, innovation hubs, universities focusing on innovation and shaping a future that is rooted both in tradition and technology. So our conversation today will spotlight the forces that are driving this transformation. So with me, as somebody who is from academia and also understand the innovation ecosystem very well, Engineer Professor Abena Obiri-Yeboah, the Provost of KSTU. And then also we have Adwoa Fosua, who is also driving innovation and tech transformation among especially women who are in Ashanti. And our own Emmanuel Appiah, who is also a doer, is also building tech solutions. So it's going to be a very educating conversation. So I will allow my panelists to give a short introduction of themselves. So I'll call on Engineer Professor Abena Obiri-Yeboah.
Thank you very much, Gideon. Hello and good afternoon to fellow listeners and my fellow panelists. As has been mentioned by Gideon, my name is Engineer Professor Abena Obiri-Yeboah, and I am the Pro-Vice Chancellor, not the Provost, of Kumasi Technical University. And if you permit me, I would say that Kumasi Technical University is KSTU. Usually we have people call us KTU. Please, that one is Koforidia. So if you are looking for the #1 technical university in Ghana, it is KSTU. and the S is a small s, just to differentiate between us and then KSTU. I am a civil engineer by profession, and my interests are in roads and transportation or highway engineering. I've been teaching for the past say 20 something years. I don't want to scare everybody, so the 20 something is fine, so that I don't look too old. Yeah, so that is it. My life interest, well, I want to encourage and impact my fellow females to venturing into STEM, so that they know that it's not a preserve for the men, but the women can also do it. I'm also passionate about singing. Those who know me behind the scenes, they know that I sing. I think for now, I'll leave it here. And as we converse more, we'll get to know more about each other. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Yes, the women can also do it, especially in the tech scene, and we see people doing it. Now we'll move on to Adwoa.
All right. Hi, everyone. It's a great privilege to be here this very evening. And I'm excited that we get to talk about tech. And I'm happy that on the panel, we have amazing women on board. So, Adwoa is the founder and CEO of Women's Haven Africa. Women's Haven Africa is a female tech and innovation hub in Kumasi, the Garden City. And then we are here to drive the inclusion and acceleration of women and girls in entrepreneurship, in leadership, and technology. For the past 6 years, we've been working with amazing partners, both nationally and also internationally, to drive this cause. I believe that Kumasi has a lot of potential when you look at the tech ecosystem. And I'm excited that we get to also spearhead the innovations that young women are bringing on board where we find ourselves. And so I'm happy to throw more light on what especially women are also doing in the ecosystem in Kumasi, and probably some of the challenges that they are also being faced. And just for you to also know that something good and something amazing is actually happening in the tech ecosystem here in Kumasi. Thank you.
Yeah, something good, something amazing happening. And the buzzword is that we are leaving no one behind. So inclusion. Emmanuel, Appiah, if you can turn on your video and then tell us a bit about yourself. I guess Emmanuel is having a challenge. Okay, so I will allow him to introduce himself when his network is a bit stable. Now, a general question to kick us started. We have all said that something is happening in Kumasi, especially regarding the tech ecosystem, and it is actually growing very fast, given our situation and what we find ourselves in. So, what will you say? What is happening in Kumasi? What is happening on the ground? For those who do not know much about the tech ecosystem, digital ecosystem in Kumasi, what is happening? Prof is smiling. Prof, what is happening? Especially from the side of the university, KSTU being a technical university. What's happening?
Thank you very much, Gideon. When you are tasked to start answering like that, then a lot of pressure is on you, but I'll try to do justice as much as I can. So, as you've already mentioned, Kumasi's tech ecosystem is, picking up and maturing quite fast. And I will say that it is uniquely positioned. If you can look at it as in a triadic relationship, we have education that you've mentioned. We have tradition, because Kumasi is known for its rich traditions. And then we have technology. When the three comes together, we see that what's happening in Kumasi is quite unique. And KSTU, positioned as a tertiary institution, has been and continues to be a major pipeline for these tech talents that we see emerging in Kumasi. We have witnessed local incubators and hubs hapaSpace, where you are, is one of the ones we can talk about. And then Kumasi Hive, Women's Haven, they are all, centers that are doing pretty well in Kumasi, nurturing startups in areas, agri tech, fintech, edutech. I mean, they are all there. I would want to zoom into SMIDO. SMIDO is the Swami Magazine Industrial Development Organization. You know that those days, before your vehicle is diagnosed of its problem, it was a lot of trial and error. And now we see a lot of diagnosing and using diagnostic machines. So we see that we are focusing on industrial development, skills training. Kumasi Technical University has a growing relationship with SMIDO, where we train our mechanical and automotive engineering students to fit directly into their space. And so you know that we are doing the best we can to contribute our quota to that space. The targeted and strategic tech programs at KSTU, we've done it in such a way that they will promote technical training, they will promote apprenticeships, and they'll promote innovation within the tech ecosystem. Why am I saying that? Before, we were a polytechnic, and then we had to be converted to a technical university. What was happening was that if I group their programs into two, tech and then humanities, or STEM and humanities, we were witnessing low STEM percentages as against humanities percentages. And I'm happy to say that now we are doing 73% STEM vis-a-vis 27 or so percent humanities. What is it telling you? It's telling you that we are now focused on technology. We are trying our very best to make sure that Ghana is not left behind. And I was happy when I heard you say that no one must be left behind. That is it. So whichever area that we find in the creatives, we are doing tech, applied sciences, technology, engineering, technology, health sciences, technology. We are bringing technology all across, agribusiness, technology, everything, so that the tech part is exposed, innovations are exposed, and then we are able to move to a system where we are fully dependent on our innovations and technology. Now, we know that there's a growing emphasis on tech for good solutions that address various challenges within our ecosystems. We can talk about virtual reality classrooms. You are all aware, 2020, COVID struck almost all of a sudden. What do? Students had to be sent home. I mean, abruptly. What do? We immediately had to fall on tech. Now we have open educational resources, and I'm glad that because of technology, this afternoon or this evening, we are able to meet. This is even a new platform. Everybody is used to Zoom. Today, we are witnessing a new platform altogether, and it is because of the beauty of technology and innovation. But what makes Kumasi different is that the tech culture is community driven, and it is impact focused, and it is geared at solving real problems for real people, okay? Whether it is digitizing, whether it is building platforms for local artisans. And you know that Kumasi is filled with local artisans. So, there's a huge grounds for us to tap into. We can talk about culture, identity. We can talk about a whole lot of things, but I think I've spoken enough. I will leave it here.
Thank you very much. I love the way you put it in a triangular point, that we're talking about education, we're talking about tech, we're talking about tradition, a culture, and that's what makes Kumasi different, right? Very community driven. And the way the local artisans, even at some magazine, are now adopting technology is amazing. The first time in 2012, when I went to an old man with a car, I'm like, okay, I'm going to put it on the machine. I'm like, okay, put it on what machine? And then he comes with a diagnostic machine, removed some things, plugged in some things, and started reading like, okay, the problem is here, is there, is there. So yeah, a lot happening. Thank you very much, Prof, for that. Adwoa, any other things you want to
Yeah.
add to what's happening here?
Yes, I think Prof has said a whole lot. Honestly, there's so much happening in Kumasi right now, and it's just beautiful to see. I remember days where I had to sit in a bus for long hours just to get to Accra, to have access to, a tech event or a tech training and then all of that. You have to rush in the night just so you can get to Accra in the morning and then be a part of, tech events and then trainings. But then for a long time, I think people thought innovation, yes, was just happening outside of Kumasi. But I believe that there is a quiet revolution. And we have young founders who are building real solutions for real problems here in Kumasi. You can talk about the sectors of agriculture, fashion. We can talk about education. We can talk about digital media. For Women's Haven Africa, for the past, I think, about 4 years, we have actually been working towards, getting women in the digital media space through partnerships like that of Mest Africa and then Generations Ghana, being powered by the MasterCard Foundation. And since about 4 years, we've trained almost about 500 young women in digital media. And so you can see that it's not just talk. Hubs like Women's Haven and hapaSpace, Kumasi Hive, and even the universities are also giving people a space to learn and then grow. And what I see in Kumasi is that sense of collaboration. So everybody on this panel, as we speak right now, we have worked together. Everybody from Doc, from Prof, everybody here, we've worked together. That tells you that in Kumasi, there's a real sense of collaboration. Hubs partnering with hubs partnering with universities, the university hubs, even government institutions coming together to run projects. So on ground, I think that there is a lot going on. Kumasi is rising, not just because we are allowed, but I think we've been very consistent despite certain challenges. We've been community driven and very intentional about solving our problems. I think Doc talked about culture. And here in Kumasi, you cannot take culture and identity away from whatever we are doing. And so we see a lot of young people who are artisans, who are craftsmen. We can talk about the kente weavers and all of these guys who are now trying to inculcate some bit of technology into what they are doing. Talk about the hairdressers, talk about the seamstresses and all of that. There are a lot of digital platforms that we are exposing them to ensure that they are able to scale, in their work. And so there is a new generation of innovators emerging here in Kumasi. And despite all the challenges, I think that a lot is being done here in Kumasi. And what's driving it is access to knowledge and a mindset shift. First of all, letting them understand that the people in Kumasi can also embrace technology, and there are real innovations that can solve our own problems. And so the young people now have, access to internet, you have online exposure, global networks and all of that. Gone were the days where you have only people in Accra and other areas on global, stands and then global panels. But then here we also have young and amazing entrepreneurs and innovators from Kumasi who have also made their way to the global market. So there's a wave of confidence. People are no longer waiting for Accra. People are no longer waiting for other opportunities. They're actually building those innovations right from Kumasi. And it's a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah, it is beautiful to see innovators from Kumasi standing on bigger platforms. We can talk about the likes of Farmerline, Sexy Technologies,
Exactly.
or Imagine. And we have AIReceive. Emmanuel, Appiah, welcome. I will allow you to introduce yourself, but then ask a question that you immediately answer. We've spoken about the fact that Kumasi is heavily traditional, well rooted in culture, right? But now we have the likes of you building AI technologies and all that. Now the question is, what is driving this new wave of innovation and fueling that talent, such as you? Hello, Ima, can you hear me? Well, Ima is frozen. You are muted. Ima, you are muted. You are muted.
Wow.
Muted.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I think there's a delay.
Don't worry, go on. Go on.
Okay, I'm actually unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, all right. So I guess I could go on now. I think there's a bit of a delay in the transmission, probably from my end. Can I go on? Okay. So yeah, my name is Emmanuel, Appiah, CEO and CTO for AIReceive. The journey starts as back in 2012 and all that. Currently, I'm just actually stepping out of a role as a CTO for a fintech, where we actually processed in excess of 42 million USD end-to-end successful transactions in 8 to 24 countries, and of course, build a platform to support over 65,000 customers. Currently at AIReceive, we are building like the next level of telecoms for smartphone users around the world. And of course, within that technology is all sort of things that we've been building, i.e. connectivity, using large pool of data to really analyze the path through which connectivity should go, the services that are actually interfacing with us to make sure that
Ima is having challenges. Yeah.
And
so
there goes technology for us, right?
yes. And what
So
we
there
are
are
doing.
always good sides and bad sides to technology.
Yes.
As my boy will say, technology.
So what AIReceive is doing is also interesting. They are building a technology that we can leverage on to communicate without using the internet. So, for instance, if I have downloaded AIReceive and Adwoa also has AIReceive and it's within the catchment of 100 meters, we have created a network, and within that loop, we can all communicate freely. If Prof is also connected and it's about 200 meters away, it continues to create the loop. So long as that loop is created, we can continue to have a conversation without using internet. And that's an amazing one. And I had wished that he had a good internet to explain that. But I guess we can move on as he tries to sort his network issues. Now, Prof, let me ask you, you said a lot about the fact that you have about 73 integration of technology into whatever you are doing at the university, which is amazing. In addition to that, what is the university doing to contribute to the talent pool? We always need a pipeline of skilled tech talent to continue to innovate, and not only innovating their own solutions, but also supporting other innovations that are being developed. So what is the university intentionally doing to support this pipeline of tech talents?
Thank you very much, Gideon. And I've already mentioned that we have shifted our focus to technology such that we have increased the percentage of our students enrolled on tech programs to over 70%. Now we are actively and intentionally playing a pivotal role in shaping Kumasi's tech space through, industry partnerships, entrepreneurship programs, and then the training of industry-ready graduates for employment. And you can find that when we do our employability surveys, we are getting very good results. Now, at Kumasi Technical University, or KSTU, we are known for placing strong emphasis on entrepreneurship and enterprise development, such that, government in its conversion of the then technical institutes to polytechnics and now to technical universities, entrepreneurship was one of the major focus areas, such that government said every student that passes through the university must have done at least entrepreneurship for 2 semesters. What we've done intentionally is that we have revised it. You know, initially they were doing it in the first year, and then we felt, oh, but why would the first year student be doing entrepreneurship? They should be doing it in the third year when they are about to graduate. Then they can actually see the need to learn the entrepreneurship and be able to apply it. So right now we are doing that. We are also focusing on specialized program offerings that equip students with practical skills to launch their startups and tech ventures across different faculties. And now let me talk about the faculties that we have. We have the Faculty of Engineering and Technology, and that faculty, we have civil engineering, chemical engineering, electrical engineering, oil and gas engineering, mechanical engineering with 4 branches, metallurgy, welding, etc., manufacturing. Then we also have automotive and agricultural mechanization engineering. We have mechatronics engineering. Then we have the built and natural environment, where we have building technology, estate management, IDMT, which is design material technology. Then we have the health. We do lab tech in science and industrial lab. We do medical lab. We do pharmaceutical technology. We have applied sciences and technology, where we have food science, food technology. We have hotel catering, institutional management, statistics, artificial intelligence, etc. We have creative arts and technology. We do have fashion, and then we have communications design. Our Faculty of Business is also very vibrant. We have marketing, etc. We have accountancy, then we have the entrepreneurship and enterprise development. I've told you that our focus is there. And we even have an entire faculty dedicated to entrepreneurship. So you can see how serious we are with making sure that the innovations that our students come up with, they are able to, on their own, market it somehow and do their startups. Again, the university supports tech incubation centers and innovation hubs that foster creativity. And they operate under a center called the Center for Technology Transfer and Skills Development. Imagine, we even have created a dedicated center under the Institute of Research, Innovation and Development, where we make sure that our technology transfer and skills development are, enhanced. And we have recently, just last April, launched what we call the K Innovation Hub. The K Innovation Hub is designed as a technopreneurship makerspace, and it empowers students and the public to transform ideas into tangible innovations. We have virtual reality headsets, we have prototyping tools, collaborative workspaces, and we are committed, truly committed to providing startup support through workshops, hackathons, mentorship programs for young innovators. And we make sure that every time we hear of something, a competition, we are there. Recently, we won 2nd place at Academic City University. This year, we are also lacing our boots very fast to go and collect the 1st prize. As I said, in engineering alone, Faculty of Engineering and Technology, out of the 17,000 students of the university, 4,420 students are enrolled in the Faculty of Engineering. If this is not a safe pipeline, I don't know what you'd call as a safe pipeline. We are doing systems, software development, in fact, name it. I think that, do I need to say more? The university offers courses, and with over 270 teaching faculty. We are well positioned. We have full professors, associate professors, senior lecturers, name it. And we are just well positioned to provide that strong academic foundation for every tech individual.
Yeah.
And we also collaborate with industry. I cannot just list all the industries for you. Quite a number of them. I've already mentioned SMIDO. and there are quite a number of them, bolts and nuts. As for Adwoa, we work together, and so she knows. We work with Gideon as well, so you know what we are doing. So when I stop speaking, you can brag small about what we've been doing together. So
right. We'll definitely do that. And thank you very much for throwing spotlight on all these activities that you are doing to develop the pipeline in Kumasi here. Emmanuel, can you hear us now? Hello, Emmanuel. All right, Emmanuel still has a challenge. Adwoa, Prof mentioned that now the university even has an incubation.
Yes, I can hear you. I just hope I'm audible.
Yes, we can hear you, Emma. So you can go on with the
submission. Yes, Gideon, I can hear you.
Go on. The submission you were making about what is driving the new wave of innovation, especially yours like AIReceive. Okay, right. Then Adwoa, back to you. Prof mentioned about now the universities are all having innovation hubs. We know Ken University has, KSTU has, Christian Service. They are all coming into the innovation space, which indicates that.
So fingers crossed. First of all, I'm just hoping that the internet will be stable for me. So at AIReceive, what's really driving us is the idea of the passion we started with back on campus to say.
Yeah, Ima is in trouble today. Adwoa, you can go on with your submission.
I think you didn't conclude on your question.
Yes, so I was saying that now, given the space within which we are, how are these innovation hubs supporting founders, students, and even bringing investors together to support the innovations that are coming up within Ashanti region?
Okay, all right. So to begin with, I think that for me at Women's Haven, we've actually watched these women most of the time move from curiosity to competence to leadership. Most of these women come in, first of all, not even believing in themselves that tech is actually for them or a path that you could actually pursue. So some start with digital basics, and now we have some of them running their own creative studios, some of them running their own digital agencies, and then all of that. And being able to support these women, in areas of digital marketing, product design, fashion tech, agri-tech, and all of that. These sectors are actually empowering these women and also providing digital solutions to the communities we work with. I think what I'm most proud of is the mindset shift, where women are no longer asking, can I do this? Is this even my space? How big can I even build this? I think that is also due to the fact that we have stronger collaborations and partnerships, like partnerships with each other. I mean, when I talk about each other, I mean the hubs, and also moving beyond just working with hubs to academia, the various universities on board. We at Women's Haven Africa, I think, has worked with most of the hubs, even in the various universities, and also directly with the various universities, like Prof said. And then moving even beyond that to other corporate institutions, you realize that the work we are doing cannot just be done alone, but then together we will be able to create much impact. And so one of the things that we are looking at, especially, is the corporate aspect of partnership, for instance, with financial institutions, because at the end of the day, one of the challenges that these women face is access to funding, access to the right financial product. How are we designing products that actually meet the exact needs of this woman? So this is one of the areas that we are looking at. And I think through collaborative efforts, partnerships with some of these institutions, we're actually making some sort of headway. I remember a few months ago, we had some of these financial institutions coming to the hub to actually expose these young women to some of the digital platforms, the financial products that they have that are easily accessible to these women. And right from there, we had most of these women actually, having some sort of hope that we are not just ending at giving them the skill, but then we are moving beyond that to give them access. And I believe that access is a very important aspect of what we are doing. So not just giving them the knowledge, but giving them access to other tools and other resources. And I think such partnerships are actually helping us. And then we also realize that they are still faced with several challenges, I know, here and there and all of that. But then I believe that we are also sharing knowledge and then best practices among ourselves, because the kind of people that the universities are working with are different from the kind of people we are also working with at the hubs. But then whenever we meet, we are able to really understand how things work. I remember there was a project that we're working on. I think Prof is even on board. And then we're looking at how we can get our tech talents ready for employment. You realize that there are a lot of gaps in there. And what happens all the time is that people say that there are a lot of jobs out there, but then it's because we have gaps in skills. And so how do we bridge that gap? If we are taking it only from the side of the hub, we might not be dealing always 100% with students. We might be dealing with university graduates who are unemployed. So the dynamics are a bit different. But then as we came together, we're able to understand the real issue and also understand the gaps in academia and also on the field, to be able to understand how we can bridge, that gap. So it also helps us to learn from each other and then collaborate better to bring this kind of impact. And then I think that once we are able to work together, we are also able to attract, better opportunities. We are able to bring on board the big guys in the system, the big organizations, to come in and then offer support to the communities we are working with. So I think for me, the key thing here is partnership, because that's the only thing that's going to help the ecosystem win. Now, in Kumasi, we see that government, universities, the hubs, and the startups work together all the time. We looking at the getting them readily available for opportunities. You realize that it cannot just be done alone. And one of the network that is really helping us to even foster this kind of collaboration is the Ghana Hubs Network, always trying to bring all of us together, bring some of the corporations together as well, for us to sit together and then analyze issues and then create solutions together. So I think collaboration partnership is key. It's helping us to share resources, share knowledge, and then it's also helping us to create larger impact for the women and then the youth in our community and ecosystem.
Definitely, they need such opportunities, and I'm particularly enthused about the fact that the ecosystem in Kumasi is becoming smaller, not in terms of what we are doing, but in terms of we getting closer to the stakeholders that matter, right? We are connected. And if you are listening, that is why the Royal Edition of the Tech in Ghana coming to Kumasi from the 3rd to the 5th, we even have traditional leaders well integrated into it. So it's under the auspices of the His Royal Majesty Otumfuo Osei II. And so if you have not already registered, please go to the Tech in Ghana website and register to attend. And let's all showcase what we have in Kumasi. It is not to spite any other region, but it's to kind of say, this is what we have. This is how we can collaborate. This is how we can get things done better as a nation. So yes, please do that. There's something that came to mind when Adwoa was speaking, and Prof, you also mentioned that KSTU is building a huge pipeline, and you are building entrepreneurship into them. We know that when people start building entrepreneurship, then they want to be exposed to a lot of networks. And we see a lot of people then now moving to Accra at the end of the day, because then they are closer to government, they are closer to investors, they are closer to big events. Thankfully, tech in Ghana is coming to Kumasi, and I'm sure this is not going to be the end. Maybe let's make it better so that next year they decide that, okay, we are remaining at Kumasi. We are doing something bigger in Kumasi. But what can we do to keep our talents here in Ashanti? What can we do? What are your thoughts, Prof?
Thank you very much, Gideon. And I believe that what Kumasi needs right now is to cultivate digital fluency, entrepreneurial resilience, and a collaborative community-first mindset. We have some of those, but we need to be intentional about enriching them. Though these are emerging traits, as I've already mentioned, they must be scaled up to meet global standards. We need to create platforms that will expand digital training. And I'm happy that Adwoa mentioned that now she doesn't need to go on the night bus to get training for anybody. Yes. Right now, we also have to integrate our capabilities, the capabilities of the people that we are training into a global digital economy. Now, remote work is there for everybody. There are people who stay in Ghana here and they are working with the WHO, they are working with World Bank, they are doing all sorts of things. It is all because tech is making it happen. Now, to foster that community-centered collaboration, startups and hubs must emphasize inclusive growth that ensures that everybody is part. Women, the youth, the marginalized. It shouldn't be only for women, of course, and it shouldn't be only for males. Everybody must find a fit. So if it's this area, whichever area, if you're talking about mobile phone repairs, for instance, and I'm happy that Amma Duncan is not here, but the Fab Hub, they do a lot of training for this mobile phone repairs, and they place emphasis on females and how they can contribute to that space. But in terms of retaining our tech talent within the region and not losing them to Accra, if you ask anybody on the street, what the person will tell you is that Kumasi, you should learn to pay, and you should learn to pay realistic rates and realistic fees, realistic charges. Somebody will do the work in Kumasi and you would want to give the person 1,000 Ghana. That same job will be done in Accra. The person will take 25,000 Ghana. What is different? Nothing is different. The people in Kumasi must understand that what is good for the goose is equally good for the gander. So we must actually ensure, we must be intentional. I keep using the word intentional because whatever we seek to achieve, if we are not intentional about it, we will not be able to achieve it. It cannot continue to be business as usual. Which one is business as usual? Have it in your mind that the same internet that the person in Accra is using is the same internet. The charges, MTN, Vodafone, is it Vodafone? Telecel. Yes. They don't charge differently because you stay in Kumasi or because you stay in Accra. Electricity bills remain the same. Computer prices remain the same. Why is it that Kumasi we refuse to pay what is realistic? Maybe Adwoa and Gideon, you can help me with that. But to be more specific, one, I think that we also need to create high-value career pathways. If somebody feels that if I stay in Kumasi and my path will be curtailed at a certain point, that person will definitely want to run away. We also have talked about the competitive compensation and benefits, salaries, and the perks. Somebody just moves to Accra, before long, the person is riding a Porsche car, and you have been in Kumasi for 3 years and you are where you are. We need to strengthen our innovation ecosystems, partner with universities for talent retention. In fact, one of the key things about industry academia partnerships is that let me use Adwoa for example. Women's Haven Africa, you are looking for a particular skill set. That particular skill set can be trained by Kumasi Technical University. So Women's Haven seeks audience with Kumasi Technical University and says that, okay, for the next 10 years, I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These skill sets, I need them in this kind of proportions. This percentage of female, this percentage of male. And then the university must be able to develop a program suitable to fit the needs of Women's Haven. Mind you, if there are similar institutions or organizations like Women's Haven, then it means that whatever I am producing, even though with Women's Haven at the back of my mind, is actually going to also serve other areas. And when we do that, we will be able to retain, because Women's Haven is sure that, okay, I'm going to take 10 out of your electrical engineering graduates this year. This one is taking 5 out of them. This one is taking, and because Women's Haven is interested, they will even create the opportunity for internships. So even before the people graduate, they know that, okay, I am coming here to do this. I am coming here to do that. But let me end with building a lifestyle worth staying for. I think that Kumasi, we have made a name for ourselves, especially when it comes to funerals. We need to make a name for ourselves in other areas as well. And then we would gradually be, encouraging and attracting the tech people to stay rather than move. Even Accra is suffering now. Those that left Kumasi to go to Accra, they are leaving to go to Terminal 3. And so we need to really look at the pipeline again. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And you didn't add that even with our funeral thing, we are also enhancing it. Now we go to funeral and they use tech solutions to collect their
Exactly.
That one is better. Otherwise, you won't find your money by the time it is 6 p.m. You will not know where your money passed.
That's good. Yeah, so that's interesting. So technology is permeating every field. So Adwoa, now
Yes.
we don't want to be known only for funerals. What do you envision that the Kumasi should be known for in terms of Africa's innovation ecosystem in the next 5 years? What story should be told of Kumasi? What's your vision?
Okay. So I think in the few years ahead of us, probably in the next 5 years, Kumasi should be known as Africa's creative tech capital, where technology actually meets culture, where technology is meeting craftsmanship and technology is meeting community. Because these three things, we cannot do away with them here in Kumasi. We will be known for inclusive innovation, which is not just coding startups, but women digitizing fashion, artisans creating e-commerce brands, engineers building green energy solutions, and creatives exporting their stories globally. I've been saying this over and over again. One of the reasons why most of these young talents would not even want to stay in Kumasi is also because they are not having access to opportunities that actually need the skill they have. So, for instance, if a hub decides to train women in robotics, at the end of the day, you ask yourself how many opportunities are available in Kumasi for this kind of skill. And so we need to be able to look beyond some of these things. But then here in Kumasi, you have a lot of artisans, you have a lot of women in the fashion space. I was telling somebody jokingly that, when you go to Accra, you see a lot of young people with their, backpacks, rushing for trotro, going to work early in the morning. Most of these young people have laptops in their bags. You see the ladies, you see the guys. Here in Kumasi, you see them with their bags. They are going to open their salons. They are going to the market. They are going to open their shops. They are going to the restaurant, and then all of that. So how do we move beyond that and then create tailored solutions that actually meet the needs of the community we have. And so we need to move beyond just coding startups to looking at digitalization. How can we even digitize fashion? Bringing together the fashion entrepreneurs and exposing them to tech platforms that can help them scale. Artisans coming together, creating a platform for them whereby I can live in my home, and if I need any artisan, I can have access to them. They'll have access to financial technology, fintech platforms and tools that they can use for their financials. So we need to move beyond all of that to see how we can digitize some of these solutions. Now, what's special about Kumasi is that innovation here is culturally rooted. So our creativity, our craftsmanship, and then, all that kind of spirit here, we call it the Adwoa spirit. There's this sense of collaboration. There's this sense of, togetherness. This should all feed into how we build. Here in Kumasi, a young person says, I want to start this business. And the next moment, you see an uncle wants to help, a mother wants to help, a sister is employed. We have that sense of community. Everybody wants to be part of that particular vision. So for Kumasi, we are not trying to probably, copy anybody, but we are here to build something that feels African, that feels authentic, and something that feels sustainable. And I believe that women will be at the heart of that story, because we see our women here in Kumasi with a lot of drive, with a lot of zeal. And then we are looking at leading hubs, launching companies, they being able to raise investment, and then also we being able to mentor the next generation. And so 5 years from now, when people mention Kumasi, I want them to think that that's the city where community and creativity build technology for everyone. Technology, not just for the poor, the rich, for the young person, the older person, but then technology being a part of everything that we are doing.
Technology being a part of everything, and women being at the center of this tech transformation. And of course, once they are at the center, they will have their men beside them solidly. So we move together. That is great. I don't know if Prof wants to share anything regarding that, what she also envisions to see. But if you have any questions, please, you can drop it in the chat. Maule will display it, and our amazing panelists will respond to that.
Okay, thank you so much, Adwoa. I think you've said it exactly as it's supposed to be said. But looking ahead, seriously, I think that Kumasi does well, is doing well. We are not where we wish we would be. There is more that we can do. Even in the developed countries, I don't think they've given up yet. They are still innovating day in and day out. So we cannot say that that is it. We've reached anywhere. We've come from somewhere, and I believe that we can do much more. But there's something that I've been thinking about. When I was younger, I didn't see it like that. But growing up, I realized that, in fact, the amount of time, the amount of money, the amount of energy that we spend on funerals alone, if we really have to sit down and quantify it, I don't know if it's worth it, really. My question is, can we not do something about it, innovate further? Because it looks like all the innovations we are coming up with in terms of our saying bye-bye to our dead, it's more strenuous than before. At first, when somebody dies, we make one announcement. Now, we have billboards all over the place. And, some of the funerals are starting on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. The whole week, you cannot go to work. And, if it's directly related to you, your mother, for instance, when I lost my mother, they said I had to wear black 1 year. I don't understand why. I don't know. Maybe if you wear a different color, it means that you didn't love your mother enough. I don't know. How do we put technology in these things? We've done well by getting the banks to come and collect the money, because money is important to us. But does it mean that the time, the energy, in fact, the food that we prepare alone at funerals is something else. That alone, the drinks that we share, the water, you see bottles all over the place. In fact, I really wish that some innovation can go to that side, and it must start from Kumasi, because everything funeral is Kumasi. Were we not there when Kumasi started doing what they call entrance and doing so many
Dramatic.
pictures, the dead, and splashing pictures here and there? And I asked, the first question I asked is, so after the funeral, what happens to all these posters? Do we just discard them? What do we do with them? I mean, I really want somebody to look at this for me, because eventually we are looking at a scenario where Kumasi is recognized as a model city for inclusive innovation, not only in Ghana, but in the entire West Africa, and probably out there. There is nothing that we cannot do. Everybody has to deal with the dead one way or the other. How can we innovate
Around it, yeah.
I think I have.
They're great questions.
Yeah.
And I think that what we need to do, we love our tradition, and we should remain traditional, rooted in our culture. But we just have to
Yeah.
look at how we can enhance the things that we do such that it is more progressive than
Okay.
retrogressive, and that's what we want to do. And I must say that I'm excited about the conversations we have had. Unfortunately, Emma could not engage as much as we wish he could have done, but I mean that's technology. Sometimes it fails
Yeah.
us. We're hoping that if you are watching us, you come to Kumasi for the Tech in Ghana event, 4th, 5th December. You get to meet Ima, and then he can share his stories. People are doing great here, and we know that our universities are supported. Our innovation hubs are doing their bit. Today there was the road to Ghana Digital Innovation Week 2025 in Kumasi, and we saw the chiefs also there. It means that our traditional leaders also want to contribute their quota. So what are you waiting for? Wherever you are, whoever you are in Kumasi, let us all be determined to support innovation in Kumasi. Don't just look at people and insult them for what they are doing. See an opportunity to innovate around that. Okay. For every setback, there's a need for somebody to innovate around it and turn things around. And of course, while we converse, talk to others, remember that we are all in the game of mindset shift, helping people to be forward looking, right? Do things that will help us develop. And thank you very much, Prof. Thank you very much, Adwoa, for
Thank
joining us
you.
today.
I don't know if we
And
have some time. I wanted to touch on the funeral thing.
we have run out of time actually, but
We
of
have to
course,
wrap up.
we have a session.
All right.
We have a session at the event, 4th and 5th. So we can easily weave this into that, all right? And of course, if you want to also reach out to Adwoa, go to Women's Haven across all the social media handles, and then their website, and then reach out to her. And then for Prof, please go to KSTU. Her doors are always opened to welcome everybody. So yes, these are few of those who are promoting tech development in Ashanti. When we say Kumasi all the time, we are referring to Ashanti. We are just starting at a location and spreading out.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for listening, and I'm excited that we did this. This is not the last of the webinar series leading to the main event on the 4th and 5th of December. We're going to have a number of them. I think the next one is coming up next week. So please, the website of Tech in Ghana is rolling, techinghanaconference.com. Please check and register for the next webinar, and you'll learn a lot about Kumasi Ashanti and what is up for us during the Royal Edition of Tech in Ghana. Thank you very much, and
Gideon,
Yeah, Prof.
Just a little plea to
Mhm.
all hubs and organizations to support academia within the tech space. Our doors are open, KSTU. Please come, let's collaborate, let's train the future tech leaders. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank
And have a good evening.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for joining, everyone.
Our next edition in Ghana, I'm pleased to announce, we will be going to Kumasi. We will be going to Kumasi.